Hello and welcome to this video series titled The Right Thing to Do, Enhancing Academic Writing Proficiency. My name is Wendy Zimmer and I'm a PhD student at Texas A&M University, and I have set up this video series to help anyone who wants to become a stronger writer. And while this video series in particular is geared toward academic writing, it definitely would be beneficial for anyone that wants to establish stronger writing habits or get in a better routine of writing, whether that's in an academic genre or any writing genre at all. So this is the fourth video in this video series. The video right before this, if you were not able to catch it, was further ways to strengthen your writing habit. And so we've spent a couple of videos on ways to strengthen your writing habit, and now this video 4 begins to look at writing resources. Because while it's great to become an expert on our own, there are many resources out there that can help us, and so I want to walk you through a few of those today. As always, the foundation behind this video series was inspired by the Power Writing program here at Texas A&M University, and you can see the logo in the bottom corner. And if you're interested to learn more about Power, the website is power.tamu.edu, and it's just a program geared toward graduate students in particular, but basically enhancing your academic writing. So it's a wonderful program and the inspiration for this series. So let's get started. In every video you will notice I start with a brain dump. And a brain dump is a great way to get everything out of your mind so that you can really focus on writing. Because one of the things we do as writers, and you are a writer, whether you believe that or not, but you are a writer, as writers, we have to train our brain to put everything else aside so we can really focus on writing and get rid of those distractions that mess with our productivity. And so I begin every step that I make with writing, every session, I begin with a brain dump. And what it is, it's just 3 minutes, or about 3 minutes, depending upon how long you need, of just writing down everything that's in your head. And it can be on a piece of paper you have next to you, or you can open a blank Word document or whatever, and just dump out all the things you need to be working on, all the things you're thinking about, all the things that you're worried about, so that you can really focus on your writing. So when you're ready, pause this video, set your timer for no more than 3 minutes, and then dump everything in your head and hit play again when you're ready to get started. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully your brain dump helped you and now you're ready to focus on writing. Just a quick review of our writing habits that we've been talking about in the first 3 videos in this series. Things to think about. Have you set up your writing habits for this week to help you be successful? So the first one, have you scheduled writing into your week? Look at your calendar. Find blocks of time where you can write every day. If you haven't, do that. Now don't stop the video now, but make sure you do that before you get too far along in your day. Are you writing daily? It's another great writing habit. If you're not, start writing daily. Even if it's just 20 to 25 minutes every day, you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. Are you logging your writing? And do you have an accountability partner? Do you have someone who is not necessarily going to critique your writing, but is just going to help you stay on track? Think of it like an exercise partner. If you don't and you need one, I included my email down there, and I would love to be your accountability partner. If you're interested in learning more about these writing habits, please go back and watch previous videos in this series and it will help you along. Now we're going to start today by doing a free write, and a free write is another great strategy to help you focus your writing and build your stamina. And what a free write is you set your timer, in this case 3 minutes, it's normally 3 to 5 minutes, and you write for that entire time. And I will always give you a prompt or something to think about. But even if you can't write about this and you're just writing, I don't know what to write, why am I here, why does this lady keep talking on this video, I should be doing something else, that's fine. As long as you are constantly writing for the entire 3 minutes, then you have done the activity. But our free write prompt for today is, what resources do I currently use when I'm writing? So think about what you do in your writing. Why are those resources helpful, if any of them are? And what additional resources could I benefit from? So what else do you need? What are the things that keep you from writing that you would love to have resources to help you? Okay, so just to review, what resources do you currently use when you're writing? Are they helpful? And then what else would you find beneficial? So I want you to set your timer for 3 minutes, pause this video, write for the whole 3 minutes, and when your timer goes off, hit play and we will keep going. Now that you've had time to think about resources you do or do not use while you're writing, this video is going to give you a first look at some writing resources. Now, it's not going to give you all of them. Video 5 is also going to hit a few resources, but I wanted to give you a few resources at a time to allow you some time to play with them to see if they'd be beneficial. And so on this slide, there are a couple that I use often that I find very beneficial when I am writing. So we're going to look at some of those today. The first one is a visual thesaurus, and it is called Think Map. And if you are not familiar with Think Map, it is a fantastic thesaurus. Not that I don't still pull out my old thesaurus and dig through it, because I do. And if you don't have one, I highly recommend that you get one. But this is a great resource as well, and a great tool to really have you thinking about the words that you're using. Now, keep in mind, as this is loading, that when you're first writing, you don't need to worry about your wording. You don't need to worry about if it's the perfect word or if you use one word too many times. That is not a big deal. What you do need to worry about is just getting words down on paper. But when you get to the point that you have the words down on paper, then it's a great time to start doing a little wordsmithing and playing with your words. So the way Visual Thesaurus works is it's completely free, by the way. You can get a paid subscription, but you do not need to. And you find a word, so as you're writing and you come to a point where you're ready to edit your writing and you're like, I don't like this word. I don't want to use the word, let's say, understand. I use it too often. I want to use something different. So you type it in and you hit look up. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull up a map. So think of it as a mind map if you're familiar with mind maps. That's going to give you some options for other words and how they are linked to the one you are looking at. And we're not going to see, you can have a trial version. We're not going to worry about signing in. Okay? So understand, and it gives you synonyms for understand. So infer, translate, empathize, realize, see, and it gives you different spelling depending upon which culture you may be writing for or in. It'll also say it for you.
Understand.
In case you're not exactly sure how to say it. But if you sit here and you're like, oh, I kind of like realize, but I don't even like that one as much, then you can click on realize, and it will break off from there and give you other words. So to continue to help you build on the word that you want to use to find one that maybe fits a little bit better for what you're looking for. So Visual Thesaurus is a very easy resource, and it's a great one when you're at the point where you're like, okay, I have a lot of things written, but I want to start wordsmithing and making my writing sound more academic or flow better or just be prettier. So this is a great one to get started. Now the next one on our list is the Pomodoro technique. And if you're not familiar with Pomodoro, it is not something that is for everybody. I go through periods of time where I use it, and then other periods of time where I don't. And the Pomodoro technique is a technique that was just created by a gentleman who was trying to increase his writing productivity. And Pomodoro in Italian is tomato, and he was sitting in his kitchen one day, and he had this tomato timer, which a lot of us, you've seen those kitchen timers that look like tomatoes. And so he used that to start increasing his productivity, which is where the name came from. And so this blog goes through, and I included the website on the video for you in case you wanted to see more. But this blog goes through exactly what the technique looks like. But typically, it has you take an hour-long session, work session. It doesn't just have to be writing. It can be anything. And you take an hour-long session and you break it up into chunks. Okay? So you first decide what you're going to work on, which we talk a little bit about in some of the first videos in this series. So you may want to go back and look at those if you need to. And then you put away anything that could distract you, your smartphone, your email, all of those pieces, and you set your time for 25 minutes. And then you go. and you work, in our case, you write for the entire 25 minutes and you do nothing else. You don't check your email, you don't answer your phone, you don't get up and get a snack, you do nothing for those 25 minutes. And you'd be amazed how fast the 25 minutes goes by. When that timer goes off, you stop. Period. You stop. You make a note where you are, or you have a log open where you're typing up what you're doing, but you stop. And you get up and you take a break. 5-minute break, 10-minute break, and you really take a break. And that's when you can check your email, and that's when you can check Facebook, and that's when you can get a snack and all those pieces. And then you sit down, you again set the timer for 25 minutes, and you repeat. Because the idea behind it is you can totally work for 25 minutes if you know you're going to get a break. You're not worried about email. You're not worried about phone calls. You're not worried about Facebook. You're not worried about all those things because you know in 25 minutes the timer's going to go off and you're going to have time to do that. So your brain does not feel like you're being deprived of something or you're going to miss out on something. And also it helps tremendously with burnout. And there are apps for the Pomodoro technique that are free for smartphones if it's something you're interested in. Even if you don't do Pomodoro, I highly recommend that you set a timer. I use a timer on my phone all the time because it's easy and it's right next to me, but I have kitchen timers and it helps keep me on track and it helps keep me not be in those stages of staring at the computer for 3 hours, and it really does increase your productivity, I promise. The next one is Grammarly. And Grammarly is one of the resources that are available on the internet to help with your grammar. If you're like me, you always want to be better or stronger in your use of grammar. And while I took all the classes in high school and I took language arts classes and I should be just fantastic at it, there are things that I need to work on. But being a good writer does not mean you have to be an expert grammar user, for lack of a better term. There are sources to help you, and Grammarly.com is one of those. And so basically the way it works, Grammarly also has a free and a paid-for program, so you decide what is best for you. I have a paid-for version now, but I had a free for many, many years. You just go and you click on New, and you can either upload something you're writing, or you can paste it. And so I already copied something in, so I'm just going to paste. And this is something that I'm working on. So I just pasted it in. The way I write, I have a matrix where I keep track of sources. So these numbers are, I'm going to go back and put in those sources. So whatever 44 is on my Excel spreadsheet, if you're wondering what that looks like, that will be a different video. And so what's happening, if you saw down here, there was a little green arrow like circulating. It's not doing that anymore because it already read everything for me. And it tells me that I only have one critical issue, which I'm going to tell you I'm surprised about, because this is literally a brain dump of what I'm working on for my prelims, so maybe I should have picked something better. But I'll go grab something different in a minute. And so as you're going along, it highlights or underlines things that you need to pay attention to. Now keep in mind, with all of these resources, they're a computer. They run by programming. So if you don't think the suggestion that they made is a good one for you and what you need, ignore it. You don't have to do what they said. But I also find this very beneficial because it teaches me trends and things that I do very often. So like in this one, I say, while digital literacy can often be approached similarly to other methods of learning, and then I'm going to put that source in there, the application and development takes on a different form. And it wants me to say take. And if you click on it, it will fix it for you. And you can also, if you highlight over it, it tells you why it's incorrect. So it says it appears that the singular verb takes does not agree with the plural compound subject, which they are correct, so this needs to be changed. And you can go through and make the changes that you want to make or not. It's up to you. And then when you're done, you just download it out of your site. You can also do, which is what I do now, and I apologize for the many things I have open, but in Word, you can download Grammarly. And so I can just, now when I open Grammarly, it's automatically here, and I can click on it within my Word document, and this is probably going to take a while, so we may not wait for this to happen. But I can click on my Word document, and it will do the same thing that it just did on the web version of Grammarly within my document. And so I don't have to worry about uploading and downloading it back in. It does it all within my document. So that's a really neat function and one that I use often. And you can tell it's checking, and this is a 37-page document, so it's going to take a while. So I'm not going to wait for that to happen. But just know that that is an option if you're interested in it. So Grammarly is a fantastic one. The next one I want to talk to you about is Writer's Diet. Writer's Diet is also another grammar type resource, but it's a little different. Writer's Diet was started by a professor who has actually written books about Writer's Diet and all of those things. And her name is Helen Sword, if you are a writing person and you've done any research into writing. And the way the Writer's Diet works is pretty neat because there's a lot of information, but there's a free test. So you go in and you click on test, and it's going to take a second. And it'll pull up just a blank box, and you do like I did before, and you just paste in your writing. It may take a second. Okay, and it just kind of pastes it as is, and that's fine. And then you run the test. And what the test does is, while it doesn't exactly give you grammar help the way that Grammarly does, it helps you understand a little bit more about the structure and the strength of your writing. Okay, so it kind of analyzes it in this way. So my sample is 306 words. And it tells me, and I know this is, like I said, this is a very, very rough draft. So I'm not surprised that there are aspects of it that are flabby. And it tells you you're lean, you're fit and trim, you need toning, you're flabby, or heart attack. And so this is where you want to be, and this is things that really, really need help. So as far as verbs go, I have a good number of verbs. I could probably have a little bit more, because fit and trim is probably your best place. I have way too many nouns, but way too many is, again, this is a computer. So for what I'm writing, I may need all those nouns. I have a good number of prepositions. My adjectives and adverbs are getting to be a bit much, which I have not gone back through and looked at my be verbs and all of those pieces, so that will clean up as I go. But this helps you give an idea of what do you need to do and how can you fix it. And it'll also show you, in case you're wondering, there's all your adjectives and adverbs in yellow, and here's my verbs are in orange, because I need to be careful with my be verbs and how many be verbs that I use. And then how many times I use it, this, that, and there, because I shouldn't use those very much. And that's another video. We'll talk more about editing and things to look for. So this is a great one just to kind of get an idea of how strong your writing is. And my writing is flabby. So I need to work on it, which I will. So this is a great resource. And then the next one, I decided to move on more to the other video. I had forgotten. The next one is basically to just keep track of your writing habits. That is one of your greatest resources that you can ever do. And the first is to write every day, or at least 5 to 6 days a week. And that can be for 20 minutes, it can be for an hour, broken into chunks. You should never write for long periods of time, because your body just does not work that way, and your productivity will go down. And then make sure you log every day. Keep track of your writing. Research shows that the things we log are the things we pay attention to and the things we care about. So if you really want to get better as a writer, you need to write every day and you need to log every day. And in previous videos, especially like video number 2, I go into more detail about that. So if you're more interested in why you should write every day and the statistics behind it, and just the basic facts and the numbers to support writing every day and the difference it can make, and then logging every day, then you need to look at previous videos to help you with that. So our next video, video 5, will go into additional resources to help you with your writing. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and stay tuned for our next video. Thank you.